NASCAR Cup Series race officially concluded from Dover Motor Speedway, and what looked like was going to be a straightforward NASCAR race turned into some wild stuff at the end, and Denny Hamlin holding off fresh tires to score his 4th win of 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Cup Series race from Dover Motor Speedway, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400. We have quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So at the start of the race, you had Chase Elliott lead the field from the outside with Chase Briscoe on the inside because they did not have qualifying or practice yesterday. And Chase Elliott actually got a decent start, but then on the inside, Chase Briscoe got a really great run, and he was able to take the race lead. Meanwhile, early in the race, Shane Van Gisbergen would come down pit road with some sort of issue, had a possible tire issue going on in the car on the right front. He would come down pit road, and then eventually in lap number 13, Chase Elliott would make the move to the outside of Chase Briscoe and was able to clear for the race lead. And at this point, Chase Elliott started pulling out to a near 1.5 second lead over Chase Briscoe. The first caution race come out lap number 36 for a competition caution. Like I mentioned, they didn't have practice or qualifying yesterday, so they decided to do a competition caution to check the new tires they had not tested in coming into this weekend. All the lap cars have then come down pit road, with Chase Elliott winning the race off pit road, followed by Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell. And then on the restart, you had Chase Elliott lead the field from the outside with Chase Briscoe on the inside, and Chase Elliott got a fantastic restart and was able to take the race lead. And Chase Elliott started pulling away a little bit. The field would actually catch up quite a bit. Christopher Bell by lap 106 was making a ton of ground on Chase Elliott as the run went on, but he ran out of time to get there because he was having a difficult time getting by Daniel Suarez, who for some reason was holding Chase Elliott up. Didn't really understand that at that point. I get he's trying to stand on the lap, but that was questionable if you ask me. But he didn't really have the chance and opportunity, as a couple guys would have tire issues here at the end, including Eric Jones and AJ Allmendinger, but it would not matter at the end, as coming out the final corner, Chase Elliott would come off and win stage number 2, followed by Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Alex Bowman. And then all the lap cars would then come down pit road, with Chase Elliott winning the race off pit road, followed by Christopher Bell and Denny Hamlin. And then all restarted once again with Chase Elliott lead the field from the outside with Christopher Bell on the inside, and Chase Elliott got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. And once again, Chase Elliott started pulling away. It was kept a little bit close early in the run, but then Bell started losing a ton of ground as the run went on. And then he basically was having some troubles through lap traffic, and he gained a little bit. And then we started seeing green flag pit stops. At lap 181, St. Smith came down pit road. Then a couple laps later, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Justin Haley came down. Then the lap later, Denny Hamlin came down pit road. And then Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Michael McDowell, Ryan Preece, Brad Keselowski, Chris Buescher, Noah Gragson came down pit road. But Chase Elliott's first mistake would come, as unfortunately on pit road while having the race lead, Chase Elliott's car would fall off the jack and they would have a very slow pit stop. Just a major mistake by the number 9 team. They've been solid on pit road at times this year, but they've had a couple blunders. If a car that was really fast, you can't make those mistakes. This would take Chase Elliott out of the race lead once the cycle had gone through. So once the cycle had gone through, it would be Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell up front, but Denny Hamlin would actually lose the race lead because of the dirty air, and he would basically lose the lead to Christopher Bell, and Christopher Bell started pulling away. And then Bell on the halfway point got up to Daniel Suarez, got a great run on him, and eventually got by him, and they actually caught up a little bit, but then Hamlin just started dropping way back. That car seemed to be falling back a little bit, and Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, all those guys were really starting to get there. But as the run progressed and went on, Christopher Bell once again started pulling away and had a near 4.5 to 5 second lead in front of the field. And as it continued on, eventually Alex Bowman got a fantastic run on Denny Hamlin to move up to second position. AJ Allmendinger also had a brake issue, unfortunately, that would take him out of contention, but it wouldn't matter at the end for the lead, as coming off the corner, Christopher Bell had a really big lead, and he would win stage number 2. And then all the lap cars have then come down pit road, with Christopher Bell winning the race off pit road, followed by Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman, who had really good pit stops. And then on the restart, you had Christopher Bell lead the field from the outside with Chase Elliott on the inside, and Christopher Bell got a solid run and was able to get the race lead for a second, but going into turn number 3, Christopher Bell would make a major mistake. He would lose the car and bottom out going into turn number 3 with the low air pressures. We thought maybe there was some contact between Elliott and Bell. There was never any contact between both those guys. Bell would just spin out. Luckily, didn't get any damage on the car, and pretty good to see no one else get involved in that incident. Just a mistake there by Christopher Bell. Nothing he could do there at that point. This would pretty much take Bell at the time out of contention for a potential win at that point, though he would get back in the race later, but tough break for Bell. So then on the restart, you had Chase Elliott lead the field from the outside with Denny Hamlin on the inside, and Chase Elliott got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead over Alex Bowman. And Chase Elliott just started pulling out to a pretty massive and really big lead. But Chase Elliott's biggest threat at the time was coming, and that was Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin's car had gotten a lot better and made a move to the outside of Alex Bowman and got up to second position. And then on lap 312 of the event, there started to be some reports coming in about some potential weather in the area. There was weather that was going to be a factor coming into the weekend, and they thought that weather would become a major thing. So we were thinking, will we see the caution come out before the rain comes in, or would this race be over? Well, they would continue on, and then the pit stops would happen. Chase Briscoe would first come down pit road, then Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick came down, then Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs, William Byron, Kyle Busch came down, and then Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Joe Logano, Ryan Preece came down, and then Chase Elliott got back in front of Hamlin by about a second. And it continued on, and guys came down like Chris Buescher, Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski came down, and then Noah Gragson came down pit road, handing the lead to Christopher Bell. But as Christopher Bell was having the race lead, the caution would come out once again for weather. And a lot of guys on the lead lap, like William Byron, like Tyler Reddick, would have to take the wave run as they were trapped a lap down with the caution come out for weather. Luckily, this was a quick shower and it didn't last too long. And then majority of the leaders, for some reason, would come down pit road, including Christopher Bell, Austin Dillon, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell Denny Hamlin would be the only driver on the lead lap that actually stayed out. I question this call at the time from Alan Gustafson because I feel like if you stay out at that point, you've got a good chance and opportunity to get the race lead because you guys have been really good. But for some reason, they all came down road, and then they took 2 tires, and I thought that was a questionable call, but I understood some of the people coming down. And then a lot of guys that were 1 lap down would take the wave run and get back on the lead lap. And then on the restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the outside with Christopher Bell on the inside, and Denny Hamlin got a fantastic restart and was able to clear for the race lead. Meanwhile, Christopher Bell would stay very, very close to Denny Hamlin throughout this run. You knew the rain was potentially going to be a factor as this continued on. But then he couldn't get there. It kind of stayed the same for about the next 30 laps at this point. Bell will try everything he could, try to make a move to the inside and the outside, but he never really challenged him for the race lead. And then with 17 laps to go, everything would change. A caution would come out for Ross Chastain, who may hit the outside wall really hard with a ton of contact on the outside of turn number 2. And he would hit the outside wall with a ton of damage on the car. This would be the end of this day after a little bit of struggle for Ross, who just didn't show the pace and speed today. And then the big rainstorm that had been talked about officially came in, and they would red flag the race with 15 laps to go. It was unknown if they were going to get the race back going, but they made the right call. They waited out for about an hour. They got the track dried, and they got the race back going. With 13 laps to go, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Michael McDowell, Brad Keselowski, Zane Smith, Ryan Preece, Chris Buescher, all those guys would come down pit road with Tyler Reddick winning the race off pit road. Meanwhile, guys like Hamlin, Bell, Larson, Elliott, all those guys up front in the top 7 or 8, including Noah Gragson, would actually stay out. And then on the restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the outside with Christopher Bell on the inside, and they both remained side by side going into turn number 1, with Hamlin getting a solid run. But going down the front straightaway, Christopher Bell would lose it on the inside of Denny Hamlin as they battled side by side, and then Noah Gragson and William Byron had nowhere to go, and they both got collected in the incident crash. Unfortunately, William Byron, Noah Gragson's day would come to a close, and Bell had a ton of damage on the car. Bell just lost it like he did earlier, saying that car was not that great on the lower air pressures. That would take Bell out of contention for a win and hand Denny Hamlin lead. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe in 1 lap jumped 6 positions from 10th to 4th. And then during the caution, Christopher Bell came down pit road. And then on the first overtime restart, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the outside with Kyle Larson on the inside. And Denny Hamlin got a great push from Chase Briscoe and was able to clear for the race lead. And then Chase Briscoe got by Kyle Larson and moved up to second. And once again, another crash would take place. Zane Smith and Ryan Preece ended up crashing down the back straightaway after Logano got in the back of Ryan Preece. It looked like they both hit the outside wall and got a ton of damage. This would bring out the final caution. And then on the final restart of the race, you had Denny Hamlin lead the field from the outside with Chase Briscoe on the inside. And Chase Briscoe got a really good run in turn number 1 and with the fresher tires and tried to get the lead, but Denny Hamlin had a fantastic run down the back straightaway and got the lead off turn number 2. And they remained side by side. Coming to the white flag, Hamlin would get a great run in turn number 1 and was able to get the race lead. And he started pulling away a little bit. Briscoe would try everything good to get there and close, but it would not be enough. And coming out the final corner, Denny Hamlin picks up a second straight win at Dover Motor Speedway, his 58th career NASCAR Cup Series win, and his 4th win of 2025, taking the lead of most wins this season. Denny Hamlin, absolutely, let's talk about Hamlin. Denny Hamlin picks up his 4th win of the year. Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, did not have the fastest car in this race, but he is definitely a top 2 or top 3 car most of the day and played the absolute strategy to get in the right position. And I'll be honest, I didn't think that he was going to hold off Chase Briscoe on that final run, but Denny Hamlin absolutely does it. And I think you got to look at Hamlin now probably being the championship favorite at this point. This 11 team is absolutely really good right now, and he looks really strong at the moment. He did what he had to do, gets it done, leads a ton of laps in this race. Again, not the fastest car, but he also picks up the fastest lap point as well, so an extra point on that front. Congratulations, Denny Hamlin, on picking up another win. He's closing in on that 60 number. Good for Denny Hamlin to get it done. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the race results and give my score and thoughts on today's race. So Denny Hamlin picks up the win. Chase Briscoe finished second. Yes, the tires definitely helped him get up into the top 2, but it's not like Chase Briscoe was running in the middle of the pack. Chase Briscoe ran top 5, top 6 most of the day. He had a really, really good car at points. His car in the longer run wasn't as strong, but his short run speed was really good, and Briscoe comes home with a second place finish. Back-to-back runner-up finishes for Briscoe at that, so a solid day for Briscoe. Not the best points day for him, but a solid day for him. He finished second. Alex Bowman finished third. Bowman's car in the long run was exceptional. He had a fantastic car in the long run. The short run speed wasn't great, but his long run speed was really good, and Bowman comes home with a top 5. A really good day for Bowman. One of the best runs he's had all year. Historically, a great track for him. Helps him in the points as well, so a great day for Alex Bowman in third. Kyle Larson finishes 4th. This is the big turnaround run that Kyle Larson needed. He had a chance to win this race. His car was really good in the long run as well. He just didn't have the speed to win the race and get up there at the end of the day, but today was a really good run for Larson. Didn't lead a lap today, but he needed a run like this considering this team's been off today. It was their best run they've had in a long time, so a fantastic run for Larson. He finishes 4th. Ty Gibbs finished 5th. Another solid run for Ty Gibbs. He's been solid these last couple months. This team's been clicking. He took some fresh tires at the end and comes home with a solid top 5 finish. Great run for Ty Gibbs in 5th. Chase Elliott finished 6th. A missed opportunity for this 9 team. Chase Elliott, in my opinion, had the best car. That car was really good on the short runs, really good on the long runs, led over half of this race. This team threw it away by a bad pit stop, and they threw it away by making that strategy call to take 2 tires and staying out. If they get fresh tires and 4 tires, I think that 9 car is a victory lane, but this 9 team has a lot of speed currently at the moment. I like the speed of Chase Elliott. He could be a factor next week in Indy. A good run for Elliott, but what could have been for Elliott, who had a fantastic day going. Bubba Wallace finished 7th, a much-needed turnaround day for this 23 team. Bubba Wallace has had a lot of up and down races over the last couple of events. Bubba legit had top 10 speed, took some tires at the end, and I think he's getting close to tracking for the most top 10s he's ever had in a season. So a solid day for Bubba. He scores a top 10 in 7th place. Good run for Bubba. Ryan Blaney finished 8th, the fastest Ford all day. They were struggling. The Fords were not that good all day. Ryan Blaney shows some decent speed out there, but this is about the best Ryan Blaney went. At least today finished a lot better than it did last week at Sonoma. A decent day for Blaney, not great, but he does come home with a top 10. Chris Buescher finished 9th. Not a bad day for Buescher. Took fresh tires. Shows some, not some great speed, but they took fresh tires at the end and comes home with a top 10. And Brad Keselowski finished 10th. Got to be honest, Brad was about 20th most of the day. Got the fresh tires at the end and comes home with a top 10. So a decent finish to a day that wasn't great for the RFK Racing team on pace, but nonetheless a solid top 10 run. Kyle Busch finished 11th. He kind of ran around 9th to 10th, 15th most of the day. He had solid speed for sure. They lost a lot of speed at the end, but they took fresh tires, and they got a solid top 11. Busch started up front. Seemed like the handling went away from that car as the day went on, but not a terrible day for Busch. The team's been having some decent runs as of late. Solid day for Busch. He finished 11th. Tyler Reddick finished 12th. Reddick had an okay day today. They kind of struggled early in this race. They made that car better, and they salvaged an okay finish. Didn't have the best speed out there, but nonetheless a top 15. Not a bad run for him. Michael McDowell finished 13th. He ran top 15 most of the day. Didn't have a great car by any stretch of the imagination, but he does come home with a decent run today. Joe Logano finished 14th. Not bad. Decent run for him. And Austin Dillon played the strategy game, comes home with a top 15. His first finish inside the top 19 in the last 2 months. So, hey, he did play strategy to do that, but he does get a top 15. So all things considered, not bad for him. Austin Cindric finishes in 16th. Justin Haley comes home with a top 20 in 17th. Christopher Bell, who had a really good car early, had those issues throughout the race. He finishes 18th. A bad finish to what was a good day, but at least he does salvage a lot of points today, so he does get that. Ryan Preece finished 19th, lost a lot of points above the walls today on the cutoff line, got a lot of damage at the end. And Ty Dillon, Ty Dillon's going to the final round along with Ty Gibbs. Hey, the miracle continues, y'all. He'll be finishing 20th, so a decent day for him. John Remachek finished 21st, just missed out of getting to the final round of the in-season tournament. He gets that. Zane Smith, who had a ton of damage at the end, finished 22nd. 23rd place finisher Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 24th for Riley Herbst, 25th for Todd Gillen, 26th for Suarez, who struggled all day. Eric Jones finished 27th. Josh Berry finished 28th. Cole Custer finished 29th. And Shane Van Gisbergen gets top 30 in 30th place. Despite his issues early in the race, he does get a top 30. He learned some laps. He did some decent stuff, all things considered. Just not a great day for SVG, but not his fault that he had issues. He finished 30th. William Byron finished 31st, had a really good car today, ran top 10 most of the race, but nothing to show for it after the crash. He finishes near the back of the field. Noah Gragson finished 32nd. Noah had a really good finish going, playing a strategy, and they got taken out by Ty Gibbs at the end, so a bad finish for what was looking a good run. Ross Chastain finished 33rd. J.J. Yeley finished 34th. Carson Ospar went out of the race late, finished 35th. Cody Ware finished 36th. AJ Allmendinger finished 37th in last place. So, let's talk about the overall race as a whole, and I'll give my score and thoughts on today's race. I think the finish of this race was alright. The last two laps I thought were entertaining and fun at the end. The whole entire race, so I'm going to be honest, not the most exciting event. Sure, I think early in the race, you got a lot of comers and goers. You had a lot of guys being able to make moves, and I think there were definitely opportunities to make the passes. But you definitely could see throughout this race that aero was a major thing. And this is a major issue we saw last year at Dover. There was a lot of aero deficiencies, a lot of aero blocking going on. You could definitely tell. Christopher Bell, for 30 laps, he was clearly faster than Hamlin, could not make the move to get by him. But that's been the issue with the next-gen car for a while. But the fact that Denny Hamlin could hold off old tires with 70 laps, that's another thing that's a little frustrating to me. I think fresher tires should be able to get by at least a little bit easier than that, but I still think that that was an interesting part. Most of the race is kind of straightforward, if I'm going to be honest. It's kind of Dover for you. It wasn't a terrible race by any stretch of the imagination, but wasn't great. My score of today's race is going to probably be about a 6.5 out of 10, probably around a 6.5. That's about what I think the race was. There were good moments for sure. There was interesting strategy near the end of the event, but the race itself at whole wasn't the most fantastic race. My score is a 6.5. So that is going to be it for the NASCAR Cup Series race review from Dover Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. What are your thoughts on today's race? Let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And congratulate the guy who won the race, that being Denny Hamlin, picking up his 4th win of the year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. We also may have some special content coming out, some major news breaks on Monday. Then Tuesday, we're going to have the intros for the 2025 Brickyard 400. And then, of course, we'll have the Truck Series race picks dropping on Tuesday as well, along with that. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have the Xfinity picks, and we're also going to have a NASCAR news video dropping as well. Same thing with Thursday, Cup race picks for the Brickyard 400. And the Penske video is probably going to drop on Friday this week on my work schedule changing. We got a lot of content coming out. People like Haley Diggins, Shane Van Gisbergen, Carl Ertz, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Junior Motorsports, Connor Zolch, Red Bull, Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer, Frankie Muniz, Clears, Farm, Dodge, Ram, you name it. Same with Eric Almirola. We'll talk about all of that stuff in the coming days and weeks. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, buddy.